comes to my favorite part of why we do these meetings. It is the discussion that we get to have with each other about non-traditional education. And today the topic is, what do you do with those apathetic students? You know, the kid who is just like, we've all seen them before. The one who's like, you're not teaching me anything. I'm just going to sit here and then I'm going to wait for the time to go by and then it's over. So Terry Liz, you were just talking. It sounds to me like none of your students fit that category.
Well, they might come in like that. They might come in like that. But as soon as you empower a child with their own learning and you take away what they're feeling, because when they don't want to learn and they have that apathy, it's usually because they've been turned off to education and learning and they feel bad about something, or they don't feel smart, or they don't feel that it's easy for them, or it's something they fit in. So they kind of start shrugging it off. So they tune off and they don't want to learn. But when you give them you empower them with their own learning and their advancement, and there's so much praise and they feel successful and that it's working, that gets switched. It gets switched.
That's amazing. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say you had a student come in, how long do you think it takes to get somebody to turn from apathetic to interested and engaged?
Not long. It takes a few weeks because of what they watch happening around them and with themselves. They get rewarded and praised for every little thing they go mastering. So the more they hear that, wow, and I can't believe you just did that. That was so incredible. I'm so proud of you. And then they get rewarded with these little TLC dollars that I have that, that they collect. And those TLC dollars are worth so much to them because at the end of the week, they use them for shopping.
Oh.
So they take pride in collecting those TLC dollars, which can be for the right answer, for working hard, for completion of work, whatever that child needs to get that apathy out of the way and believing in themselves. The dollars are used differently for each child, the area that I need to strengthen or empower them with.
Excellent.
So, yeah, so it works really well.
Fantastic. What about you, Fernanda? Are you able to join in?
Yes, I'm right here. Yes, I would love to answer that question. So we do get some students that express resistance, but we do not label it as bad or good. We just try to understand behavior before before labeling it. So to give you an example, we have a few things that are fixed in our schedule, such as book club and garden activity. So those things they're non-negotiable. So those are part of you being in the school. If you are part of the school, then you're part of these activities. But say, and also when an expert comes to make a presentation, like the other day we had a geologist come, and those are things that everybody has to participate. But for the other things, if we see that a student is really not motivated, we just try to get curious about what's happening. And then we'll find out, maybe the parents had a conflict the day before, or maybe the child is, say, afraid of bees. The other day we had a bee expert come. So we try to stay curious about the roots of the behavior. And because of our activities being so child-led, it's not very common that we encounter that. And remember, we're an emergent curriculum. We do not impose any lesson plans. We don't impose any timelines. So it's rare that a child will be like stonewalling forever and ever. But we try to connect with a child before trying to achieve any academic work. So that's how we go about it.
Interesting that you bring up the bees. That's a crazy thing that you wouldn't normally think of, but figuring out the why it is that they're acting the way that they are acting. There is typically a reason. Okay, so Jonathan, do you have any input? What do you do with an apathetic student?
Well, it's really a matter for us of working with not just the student, but with the family, the parents, or whoever is responsible for the student as well. We're in a little bit of a different situation because we are virtual, so it does put a little bit more of a, I won't say a burden, but it definitely puts more of a challenge for us to go ahead and engage with the students as well as with the parents, and just understand a little bit of our structure and how we teach and run our classes. When we say virtual, we're not talking virtual in the sense of what a lot of people went through with COVID, with the way a lot of the public school systems handled it, with kids online 7, 8, 9 hours a day in front of a screen. Our classes run anywhere from 45 minutes up to 90 minutes in length. Students meet once a week. It's very much for self-starters. It's very project-driven, project-oriented, goal-oriented. And it's really a partnership with the family as a whole. Getting parent buy-in. I mean, we kind of see ourselves as sort of like that. I guess I wouldn't say a backup plan, but sort of like the person who a parent can hand off with if they feel that that they're overtasked with their own homeschooling activity, and they need to call on somebody, sort of like a relief pitcher, to kind of go ahead and handle a particular subject. With writing, for example, a lot of times we've had parents who've spoken with us and say, students it can very oppositional with them, with any sort of criticism or any sort of any demand, even in a sense of following the structure, following the style when it comes to learning how to write, and sort of us stepping in and being sort of that neutral person, I guess, as an instructor. We kind of are able to kind of get around some of those barriers that sometimes come up between parents and learners when you get to into, I guess, the middle. I won't say middle school grades. I don't Lizette mentioned. Grades, we use ranges, but when you get into that preteen, teenage sort of zone, and everything is every yes, there's a no for every. No, there's a yes, and that oppositional. We kind of are able to kind of sort of be I guess one who's able to kind of get by that. Just by the fact that we're not the parent. So that definitely does help.
That's true. I like that. Just having a resource available. Maybe it's they do the project at home, but nobody's going to do it if it's just mom and dad seeing it. You want to have other people see the project.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I was just gonna say, like, one of the things like our kids love to do, and is that they love to share their projects in class. When we usually get to those points in the class, sometimes I won't share them live, but they have no problem with recording themselves, playing, and I'll play the video, during the class session, and then they'll take questions and answers and go back and forth with the students. And it's also very interesting that just in the online environment, the friendships that have developed, with kids. So we give them some time before class to chat with each other. If time allows, we give them time after class. We found out with some of our older middle and high school range students that they actually, found each other, set up Google groups and Discord chats and things like that, where they were talking completely outside of our environment and working, together, doing things on their own. Again, as part of that, self-reliance and the skills that you want to see develop when you're, a homeschooler and to take those challenges on. It's a great thing. I think the one surprising news we actually found was that, two families, a parent, two kids, the kids got along so well that they actually started planning like a joint camping trip together. I think one is in Arizona and the other one's in California, and they're meeting together in one of the national parks to have a trip, stuff like that. It's just amazing, that kind of stuff can develop. And
I love that.